Hello, hello. Thank you for joining us on Smay Society. I am Bonnie Sunshine, the Archer.
And
We're
I
so happy to
am
have you here.
and I am Io Ashmasako, your chaos void, moon something. What was mine? You were the archer and I was the what? I don't even
Architect.
architect. Yeah, I don't even remember at this point.
Well,
Welcome
maybe there's
everybody.
maybe there's a different frequency coming through today.
I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, it doesn't feel very architecty for me. Like it feels very like flowy, and we're gonna talk about that in the space weather and what it's looking like and the yin and the yang and the dichotomy and the play of it. This week is a really, really fun week, especially after kind of the previous 2 weeks that were a little like yeah, we're bringing in some fairy energy. We got some amethyst energy coming in right now too. And so, hello, welcome to Somay Society. Welcome to everybody that is joining live. We love to have you here live. If you do join us live, after we have an after hours that happens, that we go off of camera, we go off a recording, and we touch base on what we spoke about. Drop into whatever needs are present in the community and answer some questions there. So we'd love to have you join us live if you're able to. If you're not, thank you so much for watching on replay. I am so incredibly grateful to each and every one of you that decides to watch this program and come join us within Somay Society.
My burps are coming
And
through. Something's happening.
yeah, there's a whole lot of something happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you got
I was
coming up?
telling I was telling Eo before we came on that I've got some amethysts that decided to join us today. I I can't remember where I got this one, but my other one is a wand.
Ooh, that's beautiful. You may want to talk for a moment so they can see it on
Yeah,
camera.
that's what I
Well,
was trying to decide if it was showing it or not. We're trying something new. We're trying it where we're having each speaker on the screen for the recordings. And then really interesting, I generally work a lot with feathers and I haven't been in probably like 6 months. The feathers haven't come through. So this is an owl feather and I think it's a hawk feather on the back. And then this one is a hawk. I think this is the one from Peru that my friend brought in. So usually that is going to be some kind of clearing um, practice or meditation that comes through. So if you have, while we're talking, the invitation is remember to hydrate. If you see one of us hydrating, bring that in. And if you're sensing anything on your body, you might choose to wipe it off. That's usually where the feathers are coming in. Yeah, my whole back's lighting up.
yeah, owl energy has been coming in hot recently. And when we think about owl energy, for me at least, I think, the wisdom, but most specifically, the ability to see in the dark, right? So there's this ability that owls have to really pinpoint. It's kind of like that archer energy from you, Bonnie, is they have this ability to pinpoint their prey, see exactly what they want, even if it is shrouded in darkness, even if it is shrouded in shadow. And this week is going to be all about that. We're going to have some really nice clearing, opening things that are going to be coming in for this week.
I love that. Yeah, seeing in the dark, it's almost like your body gets to adjust to wherever we are in the season, the time of day, and and this frequency that we're all tuning into, either related to the land that we're on, the space weather, or what's happening in our lives and the collective.
That makes a lot of sense. I'm such a dork. So one of the reasons why I'm loving this new format is because I was able to just pick my nose and not have to worry about it being on main camera while you were
Hopefully that
talking.
worked.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. Oh my goodness, so good. All right. Well, you guys ready to dive into some of this space weather? Is there any other things that we want to touch base on before we start?
Um, I guess is anybody, I don't know why I normally don't ask, does anyone have any particular desire on cards today? Like, is there a deck that's calling you or a frequency? And I'll tune into that. And then the other thing was I'm drinking dandelion root tea and celery juice and some salt water today.
Awesome. I want to bring up in the chat too. We've got somebody coming in from the UK. They're drinking some water and having some dark chocolate with orange. Oh my God, that's one of my favorite tastes. Everything feels very cloudy and floaty at the moment. Yeah, we'll be talking about that cloudy floatiness. And then we have somebody else saying, "Oh my gosh, I can hear clearly today." So this is exactly where we are. For me, I am joining now. I just got back from Austin very late last night, and I am joining from my little casita in Dallas, and I am drinking water today. I already had my green tea latte, so that was enough caffeine for me for the moment. Awesome. All right. Well, let's transfer into this space weather. Ooh, and we've got somebody making some celery juice as well. And they're joining from Oregon. So, the holistic theme, we started this last week where I was going to go ahead and share the whole holistic theme of the week and what this week is going to look like from like a snapshot point. And we've got this eclipse energy right now that came in the US. It was around 6 in the morning ish. And it was also this full moon in eclipse was also in the blood moon as well. And so the eclipse energy is closing out a full 2 year chapter that we have been in. And what's happening is Jupiter is now going to start unlocking, and that's going to unlock momentum. And we're looking at this is like the start. We touched on this last week lightly, but this is truly the start of the fire horse. This is like when the fire horse is actually happening. And I know, like, we had, on February 17th, we had the Lunar New Year, and that was like the start of the fire horse. It wasn't really. We were still shedding with the wood snake, and we were still kind of getting up to a gallop right now. I don't know my horse terms, but what they're saying is now we're moving into a canter, whatever the heck that means. Um, yeah, and it's funny. I've been watching like a horse show recently too. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
that cantering is like, it's not quite, maybe it's a faster than trotting. Yeah, I don't know the technical terms.
Neither do
I
I.
I had some cards come through. Let
We
me
got,
tell you which deck.
yes, Poppy Jupiter.
So I'm using the Earth Warriors Oracle. I don't know if this is for someone in particular, but this is the 43 card and honor the light. Uh, I I don't know these cards by heart. I always look at what I see in the graphic where my eye is pulled. There's often animals, but this one is all just this one person. Oh, very interesting. And then the second card, I'm laughing at this one, is Kin of the Red-tailed Hawk. So very much hawk energy. You're laughing, tell me.
I just have a like really stupid squirrel on the red tail hawk. So the sound that we in the US know like the bald eagle to make. It's this very like strong, like amazing sound. They don't actually sound like that. Normally in movies, what they're using is the sound of a red-tailed hawk. And the bald eagles actually sound really ridiculous. They've got like
They
a
sound
very, huh?
they sound like seagulls, I
Yeah.
think. They're more like seagulls, yeah.
So that's what I'm laughing at. I want to bring in from the chat, which thank you so much for letting us know that. So in the chat, she was saying that a canter is faster than a trot, but not as fast as a gallop. And so, right, we were kind of like we were stalled and we were stopped and then we were walking and then we were getting up to speed and then we're going into the trot and then we're going to go into the canter and then we go into the gallop, throughout the year. So, and again, main theme for this year, do not burn out. Fire, fire, fire. You need to make sure you're bringing in water, you're bringing in earth, and really supporting yourself. So, with those cards,
Mhm.
could you mind showing those cards both together again, Bonnie? There's something coming up
Yeah.
in conjunction.
So, trying to figure out. Okay, so this one was first.
I am going to
And what,
spotlight us for just a few moments so I can talk about the
yeah,
cards while they're up on the screen together. So, we've got Honor the Light and King of the Red Tailed Hawk. It is coming in for that.
this one I'm getting, it came through with the fire and not burning yourself out. It's like holding the authority, the power, it feels very much like the tarot card of the masculine. I can't remember which card it is.
What does it look
But you
like?
guys, yeah, I'd have to find it. Um, just to honor your own magic, where your light is, like in your body, your medicine, and how you show up for yourself. Did you
We've
have
got somebody saying,
something?
is it maybe the Emperor card?
Yeah, it's the Emperor. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Bonnie. Yeah, I'm trying to get any more, and nothing's specifically coming in for me. Nothing's feeding in for me on either one of those cards for me. So that must be fully your message.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was my guess.
cool. So going into the holistic theme, right? And I'm sure those will play in probably. That happens sometimes too. You pull something and then it kind of loops back around. Is we are looking at the Mars energy. So this is also going to be right. We're getting into Jupiter. It's unlocking momentum, and we're talking about a lot of momentum. And then we're going to be moving into like a Mars and Venus, which is going to be this kind of yin yang effect. Mars is going to be going soft, Venus is going to be going a little bit sharper, and then there's going to be some major completions that are happening, and there's going to be a lot of release, and it's going to expand into like this really big like energy and luck moment. The main theme for this week and the main thing that is being requested of you and you're being invited into is to surrender fully and to step boldly. So surrender fully and to step boldly. These are going to be like this whole just keep thinking this week of like, how can I surrender fully and step boldly at the same time? We're moving, it's going to be warrior into flow, and lover is going to start fighting, which is so good. I love a good fight. Love a good fucking fight. So that's our holistic all around theme for this week.
My friends and I were just talking about how we like to wrestle, like not just with lovers, but friends, and getting um, that touch and the endorphins of it. So that's what your fight reminded me of that.
Mm, yeah. Ah. I'm trying to pick up. I feel like a little discombobulated. I'm going to call it because we're doing this new format. So I can feel like the shift in that and me like, oh, how are we supposed to interact with each other now? Right. It's a whole new way of, we've been doing it very specifically. And this one is requiring a little bit more thought process. So it's kind of like throwing me off my game a little bit, I'll be honest. And also, like I can feel inside of me, I'm like, this is growth. This is, a growth edge for Bonnie and I and how we do our tech. So thank you for being here while we be human. I really appreciate any patience that you have. And even if you get really annoyed with us, that's okay too. I welcome that. So much love. Our next portion that we're going to be going into, this is the full blood moon. This is what we were talking about majorly. The full blood moon, what was really specific about this one is not only was it a full blood moon, it was also a total lunar eclipse. It was also at 12-degree Virgo with an axis at 12-degree Pisces with the sun, right? And we're looking at Virgo, which is a very structured, very like health service routine oriented, and the Pisces, which is all about like spirit and truth and dreams and intuition. And what was really interesting that we're adding into this is this full blood moon, full lunar eclipse, it's a mouthful, is in gate 64 in human design, which is all about confusion before completion. And I'm laughing about that because somebody in chat a little bit earlier was saying that they're feeling so unprepared and they feel like their foundations aren't entirely set. So you're worried that they're worried that they're going to fall off or be dragged the fuck along. That is not happening, but that energy is specific. It is very specific to right now and what's happening here and now in this time and within this full moon energy, which will be lasting for the next 3 days or so. And this is all about karmic cycles closing. And this karmic cycle started back in September of 2024. So this has been a very solid karmic cycle that's been happening. For me personally, that cycle was all around my burnout. Makes so much sense. I went into another burnout mode, and it's a cycle I don't want to carry forward. So I'm choosing to complete that and take action steps for that. So karmic cycles are closing specifically around health, around service, around work, and around healing. Something from the past completes now. Something from the past completes now. What are you allowing to drop away? This is a time right now that where you have been letting yourself down. And I'm asking you to just look at it and try to look at it if you can without shame, if at all possible. But it's like, where have I been letting myself down? Where have I not been holding myself where I need to hold myself? Where have I been dropping my boundaries? Bonnie, do you have some stuff coming up for this? I feel you kind of coming in a little bit here, you and Willow.
Yeah, that was what I was going to name as Willow came through. She's here for us, and she often comes in when there are things that need clearing or tense emotions, and she helps us move them. So she's here for us. And uh, okay, so what was coming through is I am dropping that money is hard. Is that the word? That, yeah, it's telling me I have to name the thing that um related to my business, that money is out of reach. And I am calling that, know that I'm not carrying that felt sense with me into this year.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
I want to bring that practice in. So we're going to take a breath and I want everybody to kind of noodle on this. Like, what are you not bringing into this new year? And I want you to take a nice big deep breath in, down into your body, down deep into your belly, and exhale. Release, shake it off if you need to. And I'm going to give you just a little bit of time here, probably about, 20, 30 seconds here, just to really call out. I want you to call out what you are no longer bringing into this year. Bonnie just gave us a beautiful example of that practice. And I want you to say it out loud. So, nice big deep breath in. And what are you releasing? What are you calling out of you that you will, like the karmic cycle that you are closing? And feel free to share in the chat. We've got undercharging in my business and disrespectful relationships. Fantastic. That's incredible. We've got a scarcity mindset that is going to just go. It's just gone. For me, it's my burnout pattern. It's these crazy roller coaster of work, not work, exhaustion, fucking killer, you know. So Emmy, I want you to speak it out loud.
And thank you all for naming that in the chat and really putting your energy and your voices into the field. I really appreciate the way you're showing up for yourselves. And when we name things for ourselves, it gives permission and clarity for others.
And I want to give a little bit of spaciousness to allow people to call it out for themselves. So maybe just a few seconds here. So nice, big, deep breath in and speak out loud what you're releasing. Perfect. Thank you guys so very much. We also had another chat come in, minimizing and downplaying my gifts and doubting my ability to be successful. Mm. We'll talk about the next one that come up. I'm gonna speak the fear out. Releasing the fear, yes. But somebody came up in chat. I'm gonna call it out. Is they also said anger, and I get a little crunchy around that because anger is useful. And the anger is there for a purpose. So I am personally asking for you to not get rid of your anger. Maybe there's a different phrasing that could be used because I don't want that anger to go away. Anger is really a useful, beautiful tool. So maybe anger around a particular situation or how you deal with a situation, if that makes sense. Let me know in the chat because yeah, anger's going to be a very particularly potent tool to be using this year. It's a
I
really
want to
beautiful
speak,
tool.
yeah, I want to speak into that. In the past, I put my anger forward. So this wasn't me, but this is what's coming through for me. And I would use that almost like a mask or a shield. That's the first thing and the only thing I would show people because I couldn't fully express it for myself and I held it in so long that it was like eating my insides. And so that's what comes up for me with the anger and fear that that person was sharing of my own stuff. Not saying it's their stuff, but that's what it's triggering for me, that memory.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
that. I was very similar as well. I would show up with anger first in a lot of ways. And there are processes that you can have that will, emotional release exercises that allow you to express your anger and let it be free, right? And not to hold on to it. So yes. Also with this full blood moon, like really loudly, and I'm really want to kind of like put a pin in this because it's really important. If something isn't working, drop it, get rid of it, try something new. Oh, ouch. I'm getting don't even try something new. I'm getting just drop it. If it hasn't worked up until this moment, get the fuck rid of it. Sweep it out your door, clean it out. And this is the practice for this one too, is clean it out. Just get rid of it. If it hasn't been working to this point, move it on out. It's time to move on to something new. And this can be very much around health practices, what you've been doing in your business, what your routine is. It looks all around that kind of stuff. Um, and what I'm getting really loudly is Fire Horse is going to bring something in better, right? When we know when we release a thing that we can get that space if we're able to sit and hang out in that void space and that like allowing nothing to be there for a little while, eventually the universe will naturally fill that in with something even more beautiful and even better for you. And clarity is coming. Just know this, clarity is definitely coming for you all. The practice this week and for the next 3 days is to clean, 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 clean. And Bonnie and I were just talking about this. Do you want to come in and talk about some cleaning tips?
Oh, absolutely. What was coming through first? So maybe that's why my feather's coming in. So usually when I do, my house really needs a full clean energetically and physically. And when I clear things, I'm doing it while I'm cleaning. I don't even notice I'm doing it, but other people, when I've come into their homes and helped them do some clearing, they're like, wow, you are really doing some stuff. So the message is, even if you are moving something, like something's on your desk, move it like a millimeter. That changes the energetics. And you can use your hands, but you can use a feather and just go around the house and move some stagnation energy. I always say do your body first. Make sure your body is clear first. So you can use your hands for that.
Yeah, always get under your armpits.
Armpits and crotch.
The groinal region.
Yeah. Unclench your asshole is step
Unclen-
number one with that one. As that one
Always like,
hasn't come through in
yeah.
quite a while.
Yeah, let your asshole go. Yeah, it's that last night I was laying in bed and I was like, oh fuck, I'm really not relaxed laying in bed. I was like, okay, like release your shoulders, release your butt. So it's funny because I left this one for last, but because somebody is already talking about it in chat and they're being psychic AF up in there, they said surrender fully and step boldly in chat. Well, guess where our gate is this week? Our gate is going to be gate 22, and this is coming into full effect on March 8th. And gate 22 is, guess what? The gate of grace, surrender, and openness. I'm crack. I'm like, did you see my notes for this? Like, I swear she saw my notes for this. So this gate is all solar plexus energy. When we think about solar plexus energy, it's a very identity self space, right? Like that's all in the solar plexus. It's all about you. Yeah, I did say it at the beginning, and also, I don't know, whatever. Forget what I say. Oh my gosh. So, what comes after confusion, right? We were just in that state of confusion, in the gates of confusion, right? And what comes after that is acceptance. And when I say acceptance, it's more so a surrender. And oh, how do I put this? I feel like the definition of acceptance in our society is not what I would use for what this kind of acceptance is. When I think of acceptance in like a societal thought or a societal definition, I think of something as like, oh, I'm just going to accept it, right? Like, where in a spiritual framing, that acceptance is, I accept this, right? There's a much more grounded feeling. It's, also with surrender, right? If societally, I think surrender is like, oh, I surrender, I give up, or it's like the kind of I said this to one of my clients the other day, throw the baby out with the bath water, right? Like, I just, fuck it, I give up, right? But when I think of like it in a spiritual sense, it comes from a more grounded place that I accept whatever's going to happen. I surrender to the flow of life and the way that it needs to move. And this is opening to receive without control. It's also about listening before speaking. And it's very huge on this one that what is over what should be. I'm going to repeat that again. What is over what should be. And I have a practice for this week, but I want to touch base with Bonnie before I go into the practice.
Yeah, let me grab some cards that fell on the floor. They've been flying out. but I'm like, I don't know which one's for us. Um, okay, what was coming through? Take a breath. Everyone, the invitation is to breathe into your body. Notice where any tension was happening as you were hearing that message from EO. That for me, I was feeling it in like my tongue and my lower jaw, but it wasn't mine. So that this backwards motion is me testing that if something is mine or not. And for me, naming the thing allows me to be with it even more. So name for yourself or touch where you're feeling the tension and see if it has a message for you. And I know Io is going to give us something too. It's fun for us.
So, what's coming in right now for this practice is one of my favorite games, one of my favorite surrender games. I actually had my mom and dad do this. So, cute little side story. My mom always said yes to my dad, and my dad always said no to my mom. And this kind of was with life as well. My mom would be like, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do everything. And my dad was always like, even the waitress would come up and be like, would you like a refill on your water? And you'd be like, no, no, thank you. And then he'd drink everybody else's water at the table, right? Because he just would always say no right out the gate. And they had called me and they were having some difficulty at one point, and my mom was ready to kill my dad. And I was like, all right, I'm tired of this shit. Like, we're going to play this game. And so the game was that my mom, if anything my dad asked of my mom would have to say no to him. And anything that my mom asked of my dad, he would have to say yes to. So the invitation for this practice is to say yes this week and receive. Like, just be in a place. If somebody's like, hey, you want a piece of candy? Even if you're like, I don't eat sugar ever, just be like, you know what? Yes. Just yes. Just say yes and just see what happens. You can choose maybe just one day to do it if you like, and see what happens and how your world shifts when you open yourself up to receiving. Yeah. Just say yes. Willow, you got anything coming in for that?
I know she's so funny. She came and just sat right in front of the camera. Yeah, she can feel like the instability that some people are feeling with earlier I was hearing, how do I accept, how do I surrender, how do I even be with this? Because it feels so foreign to have this, not have this feeling or thing that I'm releasing or never been without. And so she's here to help you be with that so you can let it go.
I'm getting say yes to petting the kitty. Say yes to petting the kitty. Pet dogs, pet cats. Say yes to climbing that tree that you wanted to climb. And it's interesting. So I'm getting now that we're gonna move from that, since I was just talking about like the patriarchal, like the mother father thing, matriarchal patriarchal thing in my story, that we're going to be moving into a yin yang shift. And it's interesting, they're kind of like saving the best for last because there's a whole Jupiter direct thing. So that will be at the end of what we're doing, because now I feel like we're going to move into yin yang. So stay tuned for the Jupiter thing because it's pretty big, you guys. Right now there's an incredible yin yang shift that is happening, and that is happening where Mars is moving in, just moved into Pisces, and that happened March 2nd. That happened yesterday, and it'll be there till April 9th. And Mars is action, it's drive. Pisces is intuition and compassion. And then additionally, this is also layered on top, which is Venus in Aries, right? So Venus is going to be in Aries, and this is going into effect on March 6th and happening till March 30th. So these are very close transits within each other, right? And Mars or Venus is all about love and desires, and Aries is all about boldness and courage. So this is where Mars is literally going to like trade the sword in for prayer. And this is where it's going to start like really leading with feeling, leading with compassion. So we've got this very war energy happening, and it's feeling very compassionate, very loving, right? So the warrior is actually going into like more of a monk period. And then what's coming in for that is fight what moves you. And this is fight for what moves you emotionally. This is embodied courage through vulnerability, right? So if you can show up in a very vulnerable uh, space while also fighting for what's important to you emotionally, if that makes sense, is very important right now. Can you pull one card for the Mars specifically? And then I'm going to have you pull a card later for the Venus part that's coming in, and then we're going to look at those together. The Venus part is going to be trading a lot of her softness. And we've been seeing this already start to happen in the world where Venus is trading her softness for a sense of strength. It's almost this like almost cutting or slicing energy that I'm getting in with this. And love is going to get very direct. Desire is going to get very direct. It is no more apologies for what you want and what you're desiring. So this is a very like warrior goddess energy that's coming in. So these working in conjunction with each other is going to be strength can be soft and softness can be strong. And it kind of feels kind of dichotomous. And I can feel like neural pathways wanting to rewire. So I'm going to ask you to breathe into that one. Breathe in. Ooh. Strength can be soft and softness can be strong. And then, Bonnie, do we have? I've also got a practice for this too, but I want to see the cards. What was the Mars card? Mars card was
Harmony.
harmony. So we got a really soft card coming in for Mars, and it's a six card, which is all about like comfort and nurturing. So we're going to see a lot of that Mars energy and that action and drive come into a very compassionate space.
And the harmony card is the lovers in the tarot. It's calling to let you know that it's time for you to make choices in certain relationships. And this
Mm,
feels like what you were talking about, that relationship to the self above others.
yeah. And also, when is it time to let go of a thing? When is it time to drop a rock? Yeah.
Yeah. Look,
Very Elfindale,
yeah,
very,
there's
very,
that
very,
fairy.
very Tolkien-esque over there.
And this was Jupiter.
And that was for the feminine. That was for Venus.
Oh, Venus. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
Venus.
Yeah. And so Venus is intuition. So intuition coming in when we're talking about Venus. Ah, okay. Thank you. There it is. They just looped it around. So the reason they brought in the intuition card specifically is there was a question somewhere in the collective about how Venus can step into boldness and courage. And it's through her intuition, through her knowing what the fuck she wants. And that's checking into the body, that's checking into the balance points, right? So the way that you can know more fully what you desire is by checking in with your intuition. And again, we've talked about this in previous weeks, using your body as a pendulum, getting, asking your body for that information. Also, I'm getting really clearly, look at your human design, guys. Look at your human design, right? That will tell you what your authority is so freaking quick. If you need help finding a human design information or a link or a website, feel free to hit us up in school or just comment and we'll respond to your comment on YouTube. Look at your human design, figure out what your authority is and start working your ass off to live by your authority. That will really help with your intuition. What else you got, babe?
This card in the tarot is the High Priestess. So if that changes that message for someone, that's for you. Yeah, feeling that inner feminine wisdom coming through.
Yeah, when you said high priestess, I get warrior goddess energy all over again. right? Like this is a woman. The high priestess isn't just like, oh, I'll just go with whatever. She's like, no, this is what I want. This is how it needs to be. You're bringing these sacrifices to me. Bring them in. This is what we're doing. So the practice specifically with that,
It's like balancing the two from earlier.
yeah, that nice balance. So the practice with this is for specifically for the Mars Pisces conjunction is to dance without a plan. That is specifically to bring in that Mars is to dance. Mars and Pisces is dance without a plan, just dance. So if you have ecstatic dance around you, I would recommend going to ecstatic dance. If you need to ecstatic dance at your home by yourself, that's totally fine. Ecstatic dance is literally just that dancing without a plan, putting on some music and just going and just having a good time with that. The practice for the Venus in Aries is to state your desires firmly, even if you're just at home, right? Just like we did that, what are we letting go of? My firmest desire right now is to get a good, solid, sustainable rhythm that I can practice from. That is my desire. And I am saying that with compunction, right? The word compunction is coming to mind, saying it with compunction. So yeah, that's yeah. We had people dancing last night. Been cleaning for days and just been dancing without purpose for the last few days. Yes. And you want the canter. Yes, you want the canter. Amazing. Is there anything else coming in for you, Bonnie, on the yin yang shift Mars Pisces Venus Aries thing before we move on to the very last fancy thing?
Yeah, I was getting the celebration, like triumphant success and transformation. So this is four, this is a five.
Yeah, which is great change, adventure and great change, which is funny because we were talking about the Mars is trading the sword in for prayer, right? And then leading from like compassion, and there's literally a sword on that card.
And
And
it's
then we
coming up from the
also
ground.
yeah, it has some zombie hand. Um, yeah, some Evil Dead. I'm gonna give throwing some love out there to Bruce Campbell. He just got diagnosed with cancer, and I that man and his chin are incredible. So throwing some love out there for Bruce Campbell right now for what he's going through. And then can you pull up that other card because that was that also brought in a lot of the Venus as well as the softness for strength. Oh, look, in the
Yeah,
fairy energy that we were talking
that's
about
why.
earlier.
Yeah,
What?
that's why I
We
wanted to
don't.
come back up.
Yeah, Bonnie, you were like looking through that deck, being like, "Oh, I need to find a sword and a fairy." Right? That's what you were doing. I swear. I swear.
And
Oh my
she's
gosh.
riding a horse. I think this is a horse that she's on.
Oh, it looks like a big comfy blanket.
Oh
I
no,
think you
it's a
might be right
face.
though. Oh, it's a face. She's right. She's
Yeah,
writing okay card.
a
That's
human.
that's an interesting choice there, buddy. Okay. That's what some of these cards, man, are just they're a thing. They're a vibe. So we're getting close to time, and we've got the very yeah, writing a face. We've got the very last aspect that is this is the star of the show, man. This right here, and this is going to be affecting us for 3 months, you guys. This is the bright, shiny, sparkly object. This is the star in the sky. It's actually Jupiter in the sky, but whatever. Which is Jupiter. Jupiter is all about expansion. It's all about luck. It's all about faith. It's all about just this big, beautiful, expansive outward energy. And it's incredible. And it's going direct on March 10th, direct with Cancer, you guys, which is all about working and nurturing and family and home. Like, I don't know why I put working in there. Working is not normally with Cancer, but whatever, it wanted to come through. Home, family, nurturing. And this is all about like very cozy. Like, when I think about numerology, I think of the number six. Like, that feels very Cancer for me. And this happens March 10th, and it's for 3 months. It's going to be 15 degrees there. And this is all about expansion, and this is growth unlocked and unleashed. Luck is going to be moving forward. We're looking at lots of luck, lots of luck, lots of abundance, lots of like really like, holy fuck, I am blessed moments. Like, I am blessed. And we have been retrograde for quite a while in this. And that was all about like inner expansion in this. lots of inner expansion. So, and it was all very healing, foundational. And now we're going into outward expansion of this. So, this is going to be a lot about foundation, emotional, home, family. What I'm getting very strongly right now is like a door opening. Now is the time to go out. It's time to step out. It's time to step out of your cave if you've been a hermit. It's time to get out there. It's time to put yourself out there. Things that were stuck are now going to be moving, right? And we're going to start feeling the movement. We're going to start, they're showing me like a cliff crumbling, right? Like that there's going to be like this crumbling that happens and it's going to be moving outward. That crumbling allows, like, it's almost like a statue that's like if you're somebody's encased in concrete and they start breaking out of it is kind of the picture that I'm saying. we've got we've got some clovers up in here. We've got yes, lots of abundance. We got make it rain, Poppy Jupiter, make it rain, and a yes, please.
So I think it's really important for our individual selves as well as the collective that you name right now what you're taking away from today. What are you moving forward with? What is the highest priority for you in your life? Um, that crumbling was also coming through for me as where have you put yourself on a pedestal? Where have you put yourself to this high standard that maybe is not serving you?
Ouch. I mean, I put myself on a pedestal all the dang time. Like, yeah, 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 yeah. Where's a little bit of humbleness needed in this is what I'm getting. Yeah. Well, we have gone slightly over on time, but I'm totally okay with that because we had just such a big, bright, beautiful week ahead of us. I hope your week is exactly what you need and want it to be. Again, I'm giving the invitation for anybody here joining live to stay online after we go off recording because we will be going into our after hours session where you can ask questions. For all of you watching the replay, thank you so much for joining us. I ask, please share, like, subscribe. I don't know, do all of the things, but put us out there in some way because this is what I want to be doing and this is what I love to do. So I'm going to ask for your help in that. What I don't love to do is promoting myself. I fucking hate to promote myself. So if you can help with that, I would really be freaking appreciative, guys. Really appreciative. So if you found this valuable or useful, I love you and I hope you have just the most beautiful week and I'm looking forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing your hearts, your charts, and your intuitive arts with us today.
See y'all later.
Ta-da!